Welcome to the Madison Miller Podcast, the 2022 NFL First Draft Recap and Grades. I'm going to do the regular show separately and do the draft recap on its own. All right, we'll just go through picks 1 through 32, and I'll give out my grades and a quick explanation. Number 1, Jacksonville Jaguars, Trayvon Walker, defensive end, outside linebacker, Georgia. I give this a B- only because I think that it should have been Aiden Hutchinson or Kayvon Thibodeau or even an offensive lineman for that matter. Walker's just a project, and his stats weren't there in college, even though he was a part of a great pass rush at Georgia. 2, the Detroit Lions went with Aiden Hutchinson, defensive end, Michigan, A+. Amazing. Getting the best player in the draft at 2. Bravo. Number 3, the Houston Texans, Derek Stingley Jr., cornerback, LSU. I give this an A-. I feel like there are greater needs on the Texans, but Stingley's so good, though. And this is like Walker in that sense, but except I think Stingley really, I think it makes more sense because it wasn't at 1, it was at 3. So I give it an A-. Number 4, the New York Jets, Ahmad Sauce Gardner, quarterback, Cincinnati. This felt right to me this entire draft process. The Jets get an A+. Number 5, the New York Football Giants, Kayvon Thibodeau, defensive end, Oregon, A+. I mean, they threw a curveball here. Everyone and their brother was thinking offensive line. But I think they went Thibodeau here because of the fear that if they went with the lineman, someone was going to trade up to the Carolina spot and take Thibodeau before him. So, bravo to the Giants on that one. I really am convinced now that it would have been Sauce or Kayvon Thibodeau at 5 if, depending on who the Jets took. 6, Carolina Panthers, Ike Ekwonu, offensive tackle, NC State, they get an A+. They feel a huge need on the line. Number 7, New York Football Giants from the Chicago Bears, Evan Neal, offensive tackle, Alabama, A+. Giants get the best lineman in the draft. They get the best pass rusher, or the second best pass rusher in the draft. Or I should say the pass rusher with the most upside. So the Giants got players number 2 and 3 on my big board. Like, that is literally amazing. And Evan Neal felt right to go to the Giants. Like, I felt that way about Sauce Gardner to the Jets as well. Number 8, the Atlanta Falcons. Drake London, wide receiver, USC. They got an A-. They feel a huge need. But London, I didn't have in my top 10 players list. Garrett Wilson, I did. That's the difference there. But that's okay. London will help him. 9, the Seattle Seahawks from the Denver Broncos. Charles Cross, defensive tackle, Mississippi State. They get an A. They fill a need. I think Cross at the 9 spot kind of feels right. They could have gone a lot of different ways here. But the thing with Seattle is that they took the best player available. So I can't fault them for it. Number 10, the New York Jets from the Seattle Seahawks. Chris Olave, wide receiver, Ohio State. Garrett Wilson, wide receiver, Ohio State. I read a line down. A+. They get my top receiver on my board. So good on the Jets. Good first round. And we'll get to what they did later on in a few moments. Number 11, the New Orleans Saints from the Washington Commanders who traded up. Chris Olave, wide receiver, Ohio State, B+. The reason why I gave the Saints a B+ here was because Jamison Williams was on the board and I had him rated higher. I mean, I think that they could have gotten... understandable that they could have got him ahead of Philly and whatnot. But I think that they could have got him at 12, and New Orleans got Williams Detroit, who at 12 traded up to the Minnesota spot and took Jamison Williams, the wide out of Alabama. Detroit gets an A. That was an unexpected pick for the Lions. Everyone thought it was going to be Malik Willis so they could jump the Saints for him with that second pick. So we give them an A. The Saints get a B+ because they passed on Jamison Williams. Number 13, the Philadelphia Eagles from the Houston Texans via the Cleveland Browns. Jordan Davis, defensive tackle, Georgia. I give them a B, only because, let's face it, they moved up thinking they were going to get Jameson Williams. They moved up thinking, oh, we're going to get Jameson Williams. But the reason why the grade's not lower is because they prevented the Ravens from getting their guy. But it was a blessing in disguise for the Ravens, who stay at 14 and take Kyle Hamilton, the safety out of Notre Dame. They get an A+. Hamilton dropping the 14, I felt, was a major win. Top 10 player in this draft. So, good on the Ravens. And, of course, it fills a need for them. Number 15, the Houston Texans from the Philadelphia Eagles via the Miami Dolphins. Kenyon Green, guard, Texas A&M. I give that pick an A-. Houston addresses a need. I like that they also traded back for him. I felt like they needed a tackle more so than a guard. And Kenyon Green I had as a first-round graded player. So not bad for Houston. Number 16, the Washington Commanders from the New Orleans Saints via Philly and Indianapolis. Jahan Dotson, wide receiver, Penn State. They get a C. Dotson, to me, should have went in the 20s. I had him as a round 2 player. There are better receivers on the board than Jahan Dotson at that point. And there's also greater needs on the Washington roster, arguably. And I like Dotson, too. But this is because they passed on Treylon Burks. And Dotson, I felt, should have gone in the 20s. Number 17, the Los Angeles Chargers. Zion Johnson, guard, Boston College. I like Zion Johnson a lot, but I felt like this was a reach. I feel like they would have picked Kenyon Green if he was there. But the Chargers could have moved back or taken Trevor Penning, even. I had Zion ranked 31 on my big board. So, because they felt a need, I couldn't give them a C. I just gave them a B-. Number 18, the Tennessee Titans from the Philadelphia Eagles via the New Orleans Saints. Treylon Burks, wide receiver, Arkansas. They get an A. We'll get more into the trades on the regular show, but they traded away A.J. Brown for a big package, including this pick. And Burks can really replicate that production or come close to it. Tennessee's clearly going to a rebuild mode. Now the question is, do they take a quarterback today? Number 19, the New Orleans Saints from the Philadelphia Eagles. Trevor Penning, offensive tackle, Northern Iowa. The Saints here get a B+. Surprising that they didn't go with the quarterback here. But they do address a need on the offensive line. And why the B+? It's just because you could argue they could have gone in a different direction. Number 20, the Pittsburgh Steelers. Kenny Pickett, quarterback, Pittsburgh. So they go with the hometown boy. The connecting the dots felt like Daniel Jones to the Giants 3 years ago, Mac Jones to New England last year. I give Pittsburgh a B. I feel like Willis has more upside, and even somebody like Desmond Ridder could have been fine here. But they stayed at their spot and took the quarterback, which is why I gave them the B grade. I don't mind Pickett. I think he could be a better version of Mitchell Trubisky because of like his knowledge, and it all depends on the team around him. He's in a good spot to succeed because Pittsburgh has a good roster. Number 21, the Kansas City Chiefs move up from 29. From the New England Patriots, they get Trent McDuffie, the cornerback out of Washington. Chiefs get an A. McDuffie, this was probably the right range for him. The Chiefs address a need on the defensive side of the ball. So good on them. Number 22, the Green Bay Packers from the Las Vegas Raiders. Quay Walker, linebacker, Georgia. They get a C. Quay Walker I had graded as a round 2 pick. I don't mind Walker. He was on that great Georgia pass rush. But why is the grade so low? Because they didn't address their huge need, wide receiver, with this pick. They could have went with somebody like Christian Watson, who's amazingly still on the board. Number 23, the Buffalo Bills from the Baltimore Ravens via the Arizona Cardinals. We'll talk about that trade later on. Khair Alam, the corner out of Florida, B+ grade for Buffalo. They were probably hoping McDuffie was going to follow them, which would have been amazing. I had Alam as my 36th ranked player, round 2 grade. But because of the need, I give them a B+. Number 24, the Dallas Cowboys. Stay at 24 to go with Tyler Smith, the lineman from Tulsa. I give them an A-. Solid pick. He was the best offensive tackle available. But the Cowboys could have gone with some other players here. I mean, really they had no choice because Zion was taken. I feel like he would have been good. Penning would have been great on Dallas. I mean, Dallas could have gone on defense too and surprised us, but they didn't. Number 25, the Baltimore Ravens from the Buffalo Bills. Tyler Linderbaum, center, Iowa, A+ for the Ravens. The trade they made with the with the Cardinals pick, they shipped away Hollywood Brown to the Cardinals for 23, and then they trade back to 25. Plus some other stuff. I thought Hollywood Brown was probably the more surprising player traded because A.J. Brown was in trade rumors too. But A.J. Brown's obviously the better player. And really both these trades should not be completely stunning because both these guys were in trade rumors the last several months. And it's weird that a lot of teams are willing to trade wide receivers. I think it's because it's valuable to have a wide receiver on a rookie contract. Number 26, the New York Jets from the Tennessee Titans as the Titans trade back. Jermaine Johnson, defensive end, Florida State. A+ for the Jets. Jermaine Johnson should have gone in 10, 11, 12 range, and then they stole him at 26. I'm not the biggest Jermaine Johnson fan, but getting him at 26 was amazing for the Jets. So they address 3 important needs coming out of this draft, and they get 3 A+ grades. Number 27, the Jacksonville Jaguars from the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Devin Lloyd, linebacker, Utah, A+. Jacksonville trades up to the Tampa spot and gets Lloyd. So they come away with Trayvon Walker and Devin Lloyd, which is really great. So, bravo to the Jags. Number 28, the Green Bay Packers. Devontae Wyatt, defensive line, Georgia. They get a B. Again, why not a wide receiver? I love Devontae Wyatt. So they go 2 Georgia guys, which is a fun subplot. I had Wyatt at 28th on my board. I do think he's really talented, but because they don't have a wide receiver is why this grade's a B. Number 29, the New England Patriots from the Kansas City Chiefs via San Francisco and Miami. Cole Strange, guard, Chattanooga. This is an F. Cole Strange I had as a day 3 draft pick. Like, there were better players on the board than Cole Strange. I get it. Zion was off the board. And Kenyon Green was off the board. We could have gone with Alabama's Christian Harris. That would have been a great surprise first-round pick. That was like my first-round sleeper. He's good. David Ojabo would have been nice. Christian Watson would have been nice. Justin Ross or John Mechie would have been okay. Arnold Ebiketie would be nice from Penn State. Kyler Gordon would have been good. Andrew Booth. Why is Andrew Booth and Kobe Dean? Why are they still on the board? They should have been first-round players, but what? Yeah, that was a terrible pick for New England. Terrible. He should have went in the 4th round. Number 30, the Kansas City Chiefs. George Karlaftis, defensive end, Purdue. Chiefs got an A. The reason why they don't get the plus is because the pick wasn't a wide receiver. 31, the Cincinnati Bengals. Daxton Hill, safety, Michigan. B+. Daxton Hill, solid player. We talked about how we felt the Cincinnati's secondary overachieved last year, so I give Cincinnati the B+. And then number 32, the Minnesota Vikings from the Detroit Lions. They went with Lewis Seen, the safety from Georgia. I give them a B as well. A B+, my bad. Minnesota had a need at the safety position, well, both corner and safety. And Seen on my rankings, I had 52. But because of the need, I was willing to give them the B+ for the grade. Alrighty, best players left. We talked about Andrew Booth and Kobe Dean. We have some quarterbacks still left. Malik Willis and Desmond Ridder and Matt Corral. I feel like the story of today is going to be where those quarterbacks land if they get drafted tonight. Christian Harris, my sleeper. Boy Mafe, still on the board. Kyler Gordon. David Ojabo. Christian Watson. Bernard Raymond. Will Trey McBride get picked tonight? So, there's a lot of guys that I think could be drafted tonight. And this is where the draft tends to get wacky. The end of the first round and into the second round. So, it should be fun. And I just wanted to do a little round 1 draft recap with you guys in a separate show than your typical Friday podcast show. So, I'll be back with the Friday show in a matter of moments.